Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the Generation 2 Megatron. That's it. Just Generation 2 Megatron. I guess you could say Tank Megatron, but all the versions of him are tank, but whatever. And he is a big toy. Like in this mode, he feels a lot more like heavy, I think, since he's like condensed down a touch than he is in robot mode. Like here he is compared to Backstop. Like he's pretty big. And so yeah, he's a really, really heavy, really, really big tank. Like, just love the look of it, you know. Would look a bit cooler if he wasn't splashed with the neon colors, like the neon purple and green camo, but that's okay. Got this big gun that can move up and down. It could fire missiles. You just open this up and you'd put them in, but I got mine used and I don't have them. And you would get a gun. I think it would like split in half. One piece would go right there and one piece would go in that port, I think. And then to fire them, you'd cock that back. Then you'd hit that little button, and he does have batteries. Mine, I don't have batteries in it, but you just open that battery compartment, and I think if you moved him forward, it would make like a moving sound, and then if you cock this back, it would make like a cocking sound. So yeah, and it's just a big, burly, huge tank. You know, it's just so awesome. You know, and I think like this toy like definitely was like kind of like a thing like to combat G.I. Joe. You know, they had big vehicles, like big tanks, big something vehicles, like whatever they would be. And this toy, you know, it's a huge tank, you know, something that you could like take outside and then roll around in the grass, like up hills and stuff. Like really the only other tanks that you had up till now was Quake, Blitzwing, and Warpath, and they were like, you know, like this big, you know, like, you know, you lost like in 2 inches of length at least, and a lot less size with this, you know, if you just had them. You know, obviously this toy probably was a bit more expensive back then, but you know, it's just cool to have a big giant tank. You know, you can just drive through through your yard whenever you're young. And I really like the like Tonka style wheels with the big like just big and like bubbly wheels with the chrome of the like lug nuts and the like rim. You know, it's just cool. You know, it's not a perfect tank mode. You know, I could say, yeah, I wish it could rotate and stuff like that, but you know, still, it's just a big fun tank. You know, kids love tanks, boys and girls. You know, tanks are awesome. So yeah, transformation isn't too hard, too difficult. So let's just jump in. So you're gonna come to the sides and bring them down like so. Bring them down like that, and now you're going to split this and like wobble it like kind of in between like so. I'm gonna raise it up because especially when you're going into vehicle mode, the swinging of the legs in and out can collide with this edge. So that's why I go like halfway, kind of like this, where the joint is like fully extended, like that. But you just come to these panels and open them up like so. And then you swing down the legs. You can see right there how it's hitting. So you kind of gotta just fiddle with it. And then this tab will go into that slot like so. And it does seem a little scary. Like to me, it's just a little scary, but that's okay, I guess. And then you just close these back up like that. And then you flip his little feet down. That kind of seemed redundant because of his huge legs. And then you just shift this back and down. Let it close together. And now you can just swivel these down. And then swivel the arms around. Bring this down. Swivel the arms around. And now you could leave it like this. Like, I think his name is Destroyer. Or Destroya from GoBots. He's like a realistic tank and he has just the turret for a face, which that'd be cool. Or like Age of Extinction Lockdown or something like that. But we'll just do it like how we're supposed to and just shift it over, and then you bring the head up like so, and you can see the bad stress mark right there on mine. And yeah. So yeah, there he is. Super simple transformation. Not too bad. Not like dumb simplistic. Like, it makes sense. It's still pretty fun. And yeah, it's a huge toy. It feels lighter in this mode. And, here he is compared to Backstop, just freaking doesn't even make it to his knees. This toy is huge. I think I paid $50 for this, $45.50, and that's what I think you see on the aftermarket for this toy. You can press his head down and he would say Megatron attack. I think that's the only thing he said. But yeah, just he is definitely a weird toy. I just noticed that today, the sticker on its back. But yeah, it's definitely a weird toy, but it's a toy. That's all it needs to be. He does definitely have, the G1 style articulation, just full 360, basically shoulder, and basically an elbow. Nothing at the legs, and obviously nothing at the head, but, and this toy's weird. Like, you could tell that this is like an earlier toy, or at least it was engineered earlier. May not came out earlier, but it was engineered earlier. Like, you can definitely tell because he has the vibes of the later years of G1, when like the later years of G2 and the early years and later years of Beast Wars got more deep into articulation. This toy really isn't. You can definitely tell that it was kind of cut from the same cloth, you could say, as the G1 toys. The G1, late G1 toys, like the big blocky nature, just simplistic transformation, gimmicks, and then the very basic articulation. But you could definitely, and it makes it a little less interesting that there isn't too much to talk about with its very simple transformation and lack of articulation, I guess you could say. But, it's a toy, and that's all it needs to be. A big, dumb, stupid toy. But it does seem a little bit boring. But it's a G1 toy, It's just a G1 toy with different colors, more flashy colors, that, like G2, I think, yeah, it had a lot of gimmicks, but it really introduced articulation to me. And then Beast Wars built off of that. This toy, you can definitely tell, was more of a toy, all the toys were toys, obviously. But you can definitely tell that this guy has the genetics of G1. You can tell that by the time he was being engineered and like probably manufactured, is that they were still playing the same cards. You can definitely tell that the life wasn't there, or the life was there, but like you could definitely tell why G2 kind of was a bad step and not like reintroducing a big idea. Like you could definitely tell, like, if you just shrunk this guy down and gave him maybe blue, or just a dark green, or a red, like Warpath, you couldn't tell the difference. Like, make him like this tall, like from his feet to his waist, you wouldn't be able to tell if he's the G2 Megatron or a G1 toy, because his genetics are definitely more G1 than like the G2 kind of aesthetic, because his his G2 counterpart, Laser Prime, he had articulation, he had gimmicks, he was a very masterful recreation of Optimus Prime. This toy, like, I'm not talking about the just recolor of Optimus, I'm talking about the tanker, laser rod Optimus Prime with the sword, the one that just got done in Legacy. This toy, is an awesome toy, really cool reimagination. I think the G1 Megatron was like this tall, maybe, I can't remember, but he's a big, this is Megatron, big, flashy, giant, powerful, it's cool, but little, in my personal opinion, he's a little boring. He doesn't do too much, but he's definitely still a good piece to have in my collection. He's just fun to look at. I can definitely tell that a kid had a lot of fun playing with this thing, because that's all it is. And I love that. I really, really, really appreciate a toy just being a toy. It doesn't need to be anything else. Doesn't need to satisfy anyone. Just needs to be a toy. And that's what I like about this toy. It's not the greatest toy on the planet, but I can respect this toy for what it puts to the table and what, it like tells me, I'm not the greatest, but I'm a big fun toy. Just like all the other things I like. Um, so yeah, really, really like the toy. He is a little expensive. Not expensive, but I don't know. He this toy, buying him for $50 is definitely, definitely, definitely worth it, because this toy, like, I don't know. You could basically buy one of these toys for a brand new leader, and that has to say something. 1992, a toy, like, obviously didn't retail for $50 back in the 90s, but nowadays he's $50, $60, I think maybe 70. But you can get a toy like this for $50, and you can't hardly even buy a liter for $50, or like 55, 60. But I don't know, I'm not even gonna get into that, but it's just a big fun toy. I like it. Don't know why. Not the greatest, don't really have much to talk about, but it's fun, it's simple, it's big, it's chunky, fun, dumb. It is what Transformers is, a franchise of toys, a dumb franchise where big toys exist, and everyone can have fun with it. So yeah, I really like the toy, like having it, but not too much to say about it. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. So till next time, see ya.